It's a question that's kind of buzzing in the back of all of our minds, right? And lately, that buzz is getting way louder. Is AI actually coming for my job? Well, today, we're going to cut through the noise and look at the real, complicated, and honestly, pretty surprising story of how AI is shaping our careers.
Look, it's a simple question, but that anxiety, it is totally real. And for good reason, you know? This technology is moving so fast that whole industries are caught somewhere between being really excited and just being terrified.
And here it is. This is the number that's fueling so much of that fear. The World Economic Forum is warning that a mind-boggling 83 million jobs could just disappear globally by 2027. And that's mostly because of automation and AI. It's a huge figure. It's pretty hard to just brush that off. Now, the logical reaction to a threat like that is to adapt, right? You learn new skills, you get some certifications, you try to stay ahead of the curve. But what if that's not the complete picture? What if there's a twist in this story that most of us are missing? For decades, when we talked about automation, it was always a story about blue-collar, manual labor jobs. But this new wave of AI, it's completely different. It's actually making its biggest splash in those high-skill, high-paying, white-collar professions. And check this out, this just shows you the shift perfectly. In a place like California, we're seeing something that's never happened before. White-collar office jobs are actually shrinking for the first time, while blue-collar trade jobs, think electricians, plumbers, they're growing. It is a complete reversal of everything we've come to expect. So, who's in the hot seat? Well, the data points to jobs that are kind of repetitive and based on processing information that's already structured. We're talking about data entry clerks, customer service agents, translators, even some kinds of writers. These are the front lines of this AI disruption. And people are definitely feeling it. A full 60% of workers in the US say they are worried that AI is going to impact their jobs in the next 10 years. So this isn't some niche tech worry anymore. It's a mainstream economic anxiety. And all that anxiety? It's kicked off a massive gold rush in AI education. I mean, everybody from individuals to huge corporations is scrambling to get certified. They're desperate to learn the skills to work with these new tools instead of being replaced by them. You know, what's really fascinating here is just the sheer variety of options. You've got these super prestigious strategy-focused programs from places like MIT, which can set you back about 20 grand. Then there are more practical, business-focused courses like Purdue's, which are shorter and focus on tools like ChatGPT. And for the super technical folks, Google's machine learning engineer certification is all about actually building and deploying these systems. The options are just endless. So how on earth do you choose the right one for you? Well, experts suggest a pretty clear framework. First, be real about your technical skills right now. Second, figure out how much time and money you can actually invest. And finally, and this is the big one, think about your long-term career goals. Are you trying to become a specialized AI expert or just trying to boost the job you already have? Answering that is really the key. Okay, so you've upskilled, you're ready to go. But this is where our story takes a really sharp turn, because it turns out that simple narrative of AI replaces human, company saves money, well, it's starting to completely fall apart in the real world. Just let this number sink in for a second. More than half, 55% of businesses that have replaced their employees with AI now regret it. They regret that decision. This isn't some small minority. This is a majority of companies that are quietly hitting the brakes on what was supposed to be the future. And who do you think said this? Elon Musk. Yeah, one of the biggest champions of automation on the entire planet. He tweeted this after his own company's huge experiment with hyperautomation went, well, horribly wrong. So let's break down what happened. Tesla had this really ambitious goal, a nearly 100% automated assembly line for the Model 3, cranking out 5,000 cars a week. The reality, it was a total disaster. They had massive machinery failures, production bottlenecks. It created a system so fragile it nearly bankrupted the company. And the fix? They had to scrap the whole lights-out factory idea and bring human workers back onto the floor to save the production line. And Tesla's not alone in this, not by a long shot. The Australian telecom company Telstra replaced 2,800 employees with AI, and what happened? Customer wait times shot up by 25%. Duolingo saw a big drop in the quality of its lessons after it replaced human contractors with AI. It's a pattern, you see.
The efficiency that looks great on paper often just doesn't work out in reality.
And to put a final point on it, a really startling study from MIT found that only 7%, just 7%, of corporate AI projects actually generate a significant return on investment. The other 93%, they just failed to produce any measurable results. This isn't a small hiccup, it's a systemic issue.
So what does all this mean? It means the future isn't some battle of humans versus AI. It's about collaboration. It's about finding that sweet spot between what machines do best and what humans do, uniquely well. And this transition, it is going to be massive. An IBM report estimates that 40% of the global workforce, that's a staggering 1.4 billion people, are going to need to reskill in the next 3 years just to adapt to this new collaborative reality. The focus of all that reskilling is going to be on the skills that AI just can't copy. Things like empathy, complex moral judgment, true creativity, and that nuanced problem-solving ability of skilled tradespeople like plumbers and maintenance techs. These are the abilities that are truly AI-proof. And this brings us to probably the most important idea in this entire conversation: augmentation, not replacement. The companies that are really succeeding aren't using AI to fire their people. They're using it as this incredibly powerful tool to free up their employees for higher value, strategic, and creative work.
Ultimately, being resilient in the age of AI isn't going to come from choosing one side over the other. It's going to come from masterfully blending the raw power and efficiency of technology with the insight, the judgment, and the creativity that only we humans can bring to the table.
So that really leaves us with a final thought. The whole conversation is shifting. It's moving away from a future that just happens to us and toward one that we actively get to build. The question isn't if AI will change your job anymore, it's how are you going to use it?